Hello, welcome everyone. This is Seewing Yee from the Year Wilson Network, and my co-host is Maureen McCann from SpartanInvest.com. Welcome, Maureen.
We're at it again. Let's go, Seawing. Let's roll.
Let's roll. Let's rock and roll, baby. That's right. Yes. All right. So today's video presentation, our title is Get Ready for a Housing Frenzy in 2023. What does that mean? Well, let's make some assumptions. If interest rate drop to around 5.5%, if investors buy now when everybody's fearful, then you wait and then you wait for the frenzy to occur next year or thereabout. And when those frenzy happens, for those of you waiting on the sideline, it'll be too much competition, too much bidding war, etc. You know that's not a good game to play. So you got to be smart and get ahead of the curve. Now, before Maureen share with us your thoughts, let me tell you why I believe there's a housing frenzy. There's a post-pandemic mini realistic boom in 2023 or maybe slightly beyond. That's key question. Let me tell you, I've been doing a lot of videos, I've been doing a lot of research, especially lately. And if you look at my YouTube channel, you will find out I've done many videos about it. So let me give you a recap of why I believe there's a housing frenzy about to happen sooner than you think. So let's look at the doom and gloom news we've been hearing through the YouTube channel, clickbait crash videos, the mainstream mass media, Yahoo, CNBC, and NBC, CBS, whatever, those mainstream channels. It's all doom and gloom. It's all here are some of the things happening. Oh, sales has plummeted by 50%. People are not buying houses. The inventory is getting less and less. Houses taking longer to sell due to the higher interest rate. Buyers are not buying, and to see, we talk about primary home buyers, that is, and then sellers, homeowners, they're locked in to their. The majority of homeowners, they're locked in at a 4% historic mortgage rate. So they're not going to sell their homes to upgrade to buy newer homes at 7%. They're crazy. There's very little incentive or motivation to sell their homes. So sellers not selling because they are, and buyers, most of them can't afford to buy, and builders are pausing construction of homes because of demand has subsided. So they are lowering the construction things. So all these headline news, and then the news, they're gonna say, oh, the housing is so bad now, just so few sales, so few pending sales, so few this and that. When I hear this, it's all good news. You have to understand the data that's coming out. You have to understand what the media is trying to push. So when I see everything going down, I'm telling myself, wow, you know what's going to happen? If we could go back to a record low inventory like we did back in 2020 and 2021, record low inventory right now in most markets, it's like 3 months of inventory or less. Very low inventory. And it's going to get worse. Sellers not selling, builders not constructing entry-level homes, and buyers can't afford to buy. Then when and if the mortgage interest rate decrease, and there's a lot of real estate experts are saying that when inflation subsides, the Federal Reserve going to lower the interest rate. They have to lower the interest rate. They can't go any higher. If they go any higher than 7% right now, it'll crash the economy. So the Federal Reserve, they have to systematically lower the interest rate because inflation is gonna get lower, I think. So once the mortgage rate hits 5.5 or even 5.75%, I believe the housing frenzy It's going to happen again. There'll be extremely low supply of homes. The demand going to pick back up. A lot of people waiting on the sidelines. We have a lot of millennials. 78 million millennials are waiting on the sideline to pull the trigger when the interest rate goes down. So instead of waiting for those things to happen, smart real estate investors, they need to get in the game now at a lower cost, less competition, some incentives, some discounts, so they can position themselves when the frenzy occur by next year or thereafter. They're going to profit more than investors still staying in the sideline. So I've done my speech. Now your turn, Maureen.
Well, I think this is true. I mean, think about it. It's like, I'll use the reverse psychology, right? Where all of us, we're so conditioned, 2% money, 3% money. It's so cheap. I'm going to go buy out and buy everything. Right. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we're at 7.25, 7.5, let's just say. And it's like, oh, I'm just going to be a little more careful about what I go buy now. Right. And to look at this a little bit more carefully. But guess what? When and you and I learned this recently, mortgage interest rates are really determined by inflation. So as inflation rises, and there's a chart that shows this, as inflation increases, interest rates right along with it. And when inflation starts cooling and easing, interest rates follow that as well. Now the Feds are following CPI from what a basket of goods costs today versus what it costs 12 months ago. But all of the rate changes that they have made in the last 2 quarters, really, there's a lag period, and they are still basing their determination of what the Fed fund rate will be based off of lagging indicators. But if you start looking at what's actually happening, you're starting to see some easing in inflation. When you see easing in inflation, then the interest rates will ease as well. And so you want to be knowledgeable about this, and you want to position yourself today so that you can capitalize on the opportunity that is here before you. And the opportunity is that your ability to create wealth, build wealth, sustain wealth, and pass that wealth along to generations is as ever present today at 7.25 than as it was at 3.25, right? And the reason being is because you're acquiring an asset that pays you in multiple ways, and you will not have that happen if you decide to just sit and wait and see. As you are sitting and waiting and seeing, there is a group of us that are active, buying, holding, renting, increasing rent, collecting rent, watching our properties appreciate in value, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All the things that I've been saying. I feel like a broken record, Seewing. I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but sometimes you need to hear it so that it actually sinks in, because we're so quick to hear all these things. All this information is coming at us all the time, and it's hard to get that same sound, solid, fundamental points into an investor's brain. It took me a while. Honestly, it honestly did. Like, when I first started my real estate career 14 years ago, I was so scared. I was so scared and I had to borrow money. I had to use money out of my self-directed IRA, right? I didn't even have any money outside of my self-directed IRA. So I used that money, and I paid 9.9% interest rate, but the property still cash flowed, so it still made sense. So I didn't care what the interest rate was, right? And that is the point here, is that it doesn't matter if it's a 10% interest rate. If it still cash flows, it makes sense. But here is the thing that I think I really wanted to come back to Seewing's point is, if we're looking at as investors, or even if you're primary homeowners, right, buyers, and you're looking at an interest rate of, whatever, it's called a lower for the home buyer, 6%, and then 7% for investors. When these rates go to 5.5% for us as investors, that's going to look dang good. That's going to look so much better than 7 or 8%, right? So there is the frenzy. It is going to happen. It is going to pick back up, because guess what? Look at how many homes were sold when the interest rates were super low. Does that mean that demand has gone away? It hasn't. It's just building up. It's building up, and it's waiting for that key moment when someone, that millennial who's 33, who's ready to buy their first home, or another investor who's like, God, I'm ready to add on to my portfolio. Or maybe you're a new investor and you're saying, hey, I want to get into the game for the first time. And all of a sudden, 7.25 drops down to 5.5 in 2023. Now you're competing with everybody else who's jumping back into the market. And you could have been earning all of this time between now and whenever that 5.5% arrives, because it will. Tomorrow will come. Today's not the best market. Tomorrow is probably going to be a better market. And tomorrow will come at some point in the future. So you just have to position yourself. Even if right now it's positioning the knowledge in your head to get it straight, so that when you feel confident and disciplined and you're ready to pursue your goal of building a real estate portfolio for a financial legacy that you can enjoy yourself and then pass along to your family, then you have the courage and the wherewithal and the knowledge foundation to start.
Wow, I am paralyzed. I am speechless. I don't know what to say.
Say something. But no, it's what you said. Like, you teed it up so beautifully. It's like, there will be a frenzy. You guys, think about this. Before the interest rates dropped to 2 to 3%, was there a frenzy in buying? There was, because even at 5 and 6%, that's what happened before the rates went down to 2 to 3%. It just got elevated when the rates were that low. Okay, so now we're high. Are they going to go back low again? Yes, the frenzy is going to happen. And guess what? Because Seewing made a really good point. And the point is this: we have a housing shortage today. Some economists say anywhere from 2 to 6 million. Pick your number. I don't know. I don't care. It's a lot, right? And so then you've got more, your millennials, 66 million of them, they're in their 30s and ready to buy their first home. Many of them bought in the last 2 years. Do they still want to buy? Yes. Is the demand pent up right now? It is. And then when it all shifts, when it all changes, and it simply changes because the interest rates come down. But guess what? They're already starting to soften because inflation is starting to soften. You're just not seeing that because the Feds use lagging indicators. Just start looking at inflation affects mortgage rates. As they go up, as inflation goes up, mortgage rates go up. As inflation softens, mortgage rates soften as well. Position yourself to be in a place to buy at the right time.
Absolutely, Maureen. As we conclude this video, I have a couple of things to say. Buy real estate and wait. Buy real estate right now, today, not tomorrow. In fact, you should have bought yesterday, you guys out there. You should have bought investment property yesterday, not today. And also, do not time the market. Do not time the market is the time in the market. We need time in the market for the long term. And
just like the stock market, time in the market. Doesn't matter if it's the stock market or real estate. We just like real estate.
Absolutely. So yeah, and the final word I have is before we conclude, and it's just, I know fear is always out there, but if you can overcome fear and take action, that is the major characteristics that skill set that you need to have out there. Every single one of you listen to us out there. You must find a way to overcome fear. F-E-A-R. Fear will sabotage your financial future. It'll destroy your legacy financially for yourself and your family and your loved ones for generations to come. So, overcome fear and take action today, and your financial future will be awesome. So that's all I have to say. Any final words, Maureen?
No, I think you said it. I think you said it brilliantly. And I would love, Seewing. Here's what I would love. I would love for anyone that is following us, listening to us. I would love to hear your story, right? I don't care if it's a year from now, 5 years, 10 years from now, where you go, hey, you know what? I was fearful and I took the action. And here's where I am today because I actually listened to the sound, solid, fundamental of real estate investing advice that you two gave. I would love for anyone to just write something in the comments. We'll reach out to you. We'll follow up with you. But I want to hear your story. I want to hear your success story because you did something versus 10 years from now, you did nothing and you're still in the same place as you are today.
Yeah, we will present those testimonials that people have done it today. And a year later, we're going to invite them to our videos presentation.
Yeah.
And you'll see. All right. So with that said, amazing. Thank you for your great, I don't know, great message, great motivation, and comes deep from your heart. We're not trying to sell anything. We're not realtors. We are real estate investors. We try to help people to invest, to create your financial dream for your future. So that's all I have to say. Thank you so much to Seewing Yee and Maureen McCann from Spartan Invest. Thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next video, and smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, and subscribe to my emails and my organization and Maureen's Spartan Invest. Subscribe to our email newsletter, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.